Hello, Tashi Delek. Welcome back. Last week, we talked in general on the topic of the precious human rebirth. So today we are going to try to dive deeper. So in Lamrim Chemo, the topic of the precious human rebirth is taught under three subheadings: identifying the leisures and endowments, contemplating the great importance of the leisures and endowments, contemplating the difficulty of attaining the leisures and endowments. So today we are going to focus on the first one, which is identifying the leisures and endowments. In Tibetan, we say Deva Get Joba Chu. So there are 8 leisures and 10 endowments. So what are they? First, we need to understand the term, the word leisure. In Tibetan, we call it delva. So leisure here is not about having a party or having great time. Here, the term leisure simply means having freedom from the 8 states, or to have the opportunity to practice Dharma. So there are conditions or states where there is no opportunity to practice Dharma. So these conditions are called unfavorable conditions. So there are 8 unfavorable conditions or circumstances that prevent us to engage in Dharma practice. So these 8 conditions are divided into 2, the 4 of non-human states and then the 4 of human states. So the first one is hell being. Hell being. So those beings who are born in the hell realms. So they cannot practice Dharma because they are dominated by physical pain. So they undergo intensive pain and suffering that no way they can focus on Dharma practice. So this we can understand from our own experience. When we are having an excruciating headache, we are unable to do Dharma practice. Sometimes we skip our sadhana and then we say that, oh, last night I missed my sadhana because I had a very bad headache. So when you are overwhelmed by physical pain, there is no way one can really focus on Dharma practice. And the second one is hungry ghost. Hungry ghost has its own suffering. So they suffer what is called the thirst and hunger. They are constantly hungry and feeling thirsty. So because of that suffering, they are unable to focus their mind on Dharma practice. So when we do nyungne, or when we are hungry or thirsty, and if somebody asks you to do a meditation, would we be able to do so? I don't think so. In my case, I don't think so. I need to quench my thirst first. I need to fill my tummy first. And then I can think about doing practice. But first is to elevate that suffering. So that's what happens to hungry ghosts. Then animal. So animal is not so much about pain or suffering, because we see that some animals do not have that kind of suffering, but they lack intelligence. They do not have the ability to discern what is right or what is wrong. They do not have the level of intelligence to really understand Dharma, let alone practice Dharma. So you may have a very clever animal, clever dog, but if you try to teach them some Dharma, if you try them to teach, to practice, or to observe ethical discipline, no way they would be able to do so. And then there is something called long-lived God. So this is a particular God where a particular God who lives a very long life. But they only have this conscious thought when they are born. First, when they are born in that realm, they know that, okay, I am born in this Deva realm. And then they get so engrossed or absorbed in the bliss. They what do you call, engrossed in this meditation, concentrated meditation, which is mainly enjoying the bliss. And then they live in that situation, in that bliss for hundreds of years. And then when the karma exhausts, when the karma finish, they will be born in one of the lower realms. So they waste all that years just enjoying that bliss, but doing nothing, virtuous. So that's why these four are considered unfavorable conditions, because if we were to be born in one of these conditions, we won't be able to practice Dharma. Fortunately, we are not born in any of these. We have achieved human rebirth. Not only have we achieved human rebirth, we are born in the time where Buddha has appeared, the era where Buddha came. If we were to be born in the time Buddha has not appeared, or what is called the dark eons, then even if we achieved human rebirth, we wouldn't be able to do much. There wouldn't be much worthy to it. So this, the first of the human state, is no Buddha has appeared. If one is born during that period, then because Buddha has not appeared, there is no Dharma. Because there is no Dharma, nothing to practice. So that's one. The secondly, remote land. So remote land refers to places where there is no Dharma at all in the world right now, even though Buddha has come to this world 5,000 years ago or 2,005 years ago. But there are many places in the world where there is not even sprinkle of Buddha Dharma in that particular land. So if we were to born in that kind of land, then no matter how intelligent we are, we won't be able to meet Dharma. We won't be able to practice Dharma. And then even if we were born in a land where Dharma has reached, where Dharma has thrived, but our faculties are deficient. If we have especially mental faculties, our mental faculties are impaired, then we wouldn't be able to practice Dharma. Because in order for Dharma in order to benefit from Dharma practice, we need to do meditation. In order to do meditation, we need to be able to contemplate. In order for us to be able to contemplate, we need to understand, we need to listen to Dharma. But if our cognitive abilities are impaired, despite our interests, nothing will go in. We won't be able to understand at all. So without understanding, there won't be real practice, because we will be ignorant. We won't know what to practice. Even at the basic level, we won't be able to discern what is to be abandoned and what is to be cultivated. So it is important to have an intact faculty. Even if we were to have our faculties intact, but if we were born with wrong views, holding wrong views, like non-Buddhists, there are many intelligent people in non-Buddhist communities, but because they subscribe to other views, they do not generate faith in Buddha Dharma. Because of that, they do not practice Buddha Dharma. Fortunately, we subscribe, we believe in law of causation. We believe, or we subscribe to the concept of karma. We also subscribe and also hold strong faith in three jewels. So if one is to hold wrong views, then there is no way that person can practice Dharma. That becomes the obstacle in practicing Dharma. So these are 8 unfavorable conditions. Sometimes when you talk about the 4 non-human states, sometimes we talk about hell beings, hungry ghosts. People have difficulty grasping. People question whether there is such thing as hell being, whether there is such thing as hungry ghosts. But I think it doesn't really matter. We don't need to go far to see such suffering and pain. We can actually see such pain and suffering happening in our human world. Look at this. There are many countries in the world. There are many countries where they face starvation. People are dying from starvation. They don't have enough food. They don't have enough water to drink. So in order to experience or see the suffering of hungry ghosts, we don't need to really see the hungry ghost ram. In our own world, on this very earth, we can witness such suffering and pain. Likewise, hot hell. How many creatures, how many people die in fire? In America, wildfire is now a common occurrence, common phenomena. It's happening almost everywhere. When this happens, houses were burned down, animals were burned alive, even people die in the fire. So that this is not really different from what we talk about hot hell. Likewise, when you look at the left image, it is during one of the cold, during winter season. I live in Minnesota, which is known for its cold weather. Sometimes we can get down to minus 32 Celsius. Just recently it was minus 28. So once we have a snowfall, it lasts for months. Because temperature is so cold, snow hardly melts. While I can stay in my home with a heater on, but there are many homeless people who live on the street in that cold temperature. So imagine if we are in the shoes of that person. Do you think that we will be able to focus on our Dharma practice? If we were in Africa, undergoing starvation and thirst, do you think that we will be able to practice Dharma? Likewise, if we were caught in fire, would we be able to do Dharma practice? It is very difficult because when the physical pain overwhelms us, the first thing we want to do is to free ourselves from that pain. Only then we want to practice Dharma. So we need to understand this. We need to realize, because most of the time we take everything for granted. We live in a nice, cozy house. We take it for granted. We fail to comprehend that there are many thousands of people who do not have such a luxury. So this is about the 8 unfavorable conditions. And then imagine the suffering of animals. Look at this. We see this all the time. Imagine if you were one of the chickens there. How would you feel? Look at this. There is no guarantee that our next life won't be this one. Sometimes we feel that next life is so far away. But what is in between this life and next life is our breath. The moment our breath stops, our breathing stops, we are already on to the next life. And we don't know whether it could be a chicken or a pig. Whether it would be in this kind of caged animal or a free-roaming chicken or pig. But pig is always its race. It's the main reason they feed the pig is to slaughter, is for its flesh. So our next life could be a pig. Who knows? Then insects. This is a street in Thailand where they deep fry insects. These are fried alive. Look at the variety. So we need to appreciate. We need to realize how fortunate we are to have this human life, human rebirth. So now let's look at the 10 endowments. Not only this rebirth is free from those 8 unfavorable conditions, it is also endowed with these 5 excellent qualities. So there are 5 of personal qualities and 5 of qualities that pertain to others or external qualities. So first is being born as women. So we are born as women. Not only we are born as women, we are born in a central land. So here central land refers to where Dharma is flourishing, where there is order, community is thriving. So we are born in a central land. And not only we are born in central land, we also lucky to have all the faculties intact. And then we have not committed the 5 heinous crime or the extreme negative actions. So like killing one's father or mother, or what you call the causing or killing arhats, killing arhat tajumba. And also we haven't caused schism in Sangha community. So if we cause a split using our divisive speech, if we cause a split in the Sangha community, so that is considered one of the heinous crime. And then the final one is drawing blood from the Buddha's body with malicious intent. In this life, we haven't committed that because we haven't even met Buddha in person. So we wouldn't have done that. We couldn't have done that. And then, not only that, even if all these, the earlier qualities were present, and if we do not have faith in Dharma, faith in Buddha's teachings, then all that qualities wouldn't be that much use. But we have generated strong faith in Buddha Dharma. So these are the 5 personal endowments which we are endowed with. And then there are what is called the 5 endowments that pertain to others. So the first one is Buddha has come. So there were eons, many eons where Buddha, the eons without Buddha. This is called the dark eons. And sometimes when Buddha comes, Buddha may not teach, but we were lucky. Shakyamuni Buddha came and Shakyamuni Buddha taught. Sometimes Buddha teach only one vehicle, like they will teach the Hinayana teachings, but not the Mahayana teachings. But Shakyamuni Buddha taught both the Hinayanas. And not only that, some Buddhas only teach sutras, but don't teach tantra. But Shakyamuni taught both sutra and tantra. So we were very, very lucky if we realized that. And then Buddha's teaching still survives, and there are followers exist. Not just followers, real practitioners. There are many practitioners in the world who practice, and through their practice, they have gained realizations. So we are in that era. And then the feeling of compassion for others. So this means that there are people who support Dharma practitioners. If we want to go to do 3 years retreat, 10 years retreat, there is no shortage of sponsors. there are no shortage of supporters. There will be always people to support us in our practice. So, the life that we have achieved, the rebirth that we have obtained right now, is not only free from these unfavorable conditions, it is also endowed with all these qualities. So, in other words, we have all the conditions. This rebirth is very conducive to Dharma practice. It has all the external and internal conditions. Not only we have achieved this human rebirth, we also met Buddha Dharma. Not only we met Buddha Dharma, we met Mahayana Buddha, Mahayana Dharma, Mahayana teachings. And we have also met great teachers. So what excuse do we have? So that's why Shantideva says, so if when having found leisure such as this, I do not attune myself to what is wholesome, there could be no greater deception, and there could be no greater folly. So now that we have found this kind of condition, which is very conducive to Dharma practice, the only thing lacking is our interest and our commitment. If we put effort, we can achieve so many things. But still, if we do not commit ourselves to doing wholesome actions, then it says that there could be no greater deception and there could be no greater folly. When we find ourselves being deceived or cheated by somebody of, let's say, $10, we get so agitated, we feel indignant, we feel that we were, deceived, we were fooled. But when it comes to wasting this precious rebirth, we don't even realize, let alone feeling fool. So, if we do not the extract, the essence, or if we do not put this precious life to do virtue, then it is like using a golden jar to hold some dirt. If you have a very precious jar that is made of gold and then it is adorned or decorated with so many precious gems, but instead of using that to hold something precious and pure, but if you were to use that to store some dirt in there, what would other people think? Wouldn't that be such a stupid and foolish thing to do? So likewise, when we, after achieving this precious rebirth, and if we continue engaging in unwholesome actions, engaging in non-virtue all the time, then it is similar to using a precious jar just to hold some dirt in it. There is no difference. So we need to contemplate on these qualities and then appreciate it and then make a decision that we will put this to good use. We will take the advantage of this precious human rebirth and commit ourselves in doing Dharma, doing virtue, which has benefit for long-term purpose. Thank you.